gamers are toxic, that's all we ever hear from developers and producers and executives at this point. They always take every opportunity they can to attack us, and now apparently we're too toxic yet again, and that is why Marathon won't have proximity chat, because they're saying, I don't think anyone has a good solution to that just yet. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I've been playing video games for my whole entire life, and I have always loved multiplayer games. I love to be able to go into a lobby of Call of Duty. I love to be able to banter with people. I enjoy going into a extraction shooter and prox chatting, making my opponent very anxious, making them feel like I'm all around them, so then they end up screwing up, whether it's their placement or they, abandon some kind of loot. Like, these are important parts of multiplayer games, but according to the people behind Marathon, that would be too toxic. And that is exactly why this upcoming game won't feature this. Now, this game has already been raked across the coals by gamers. There are some people who say it looks pretty good, they're excited for it, but there are a lot of people who are disappointed that it's an extraction shooter. Some people don't think the environments look good. In my opinion, it looks like another really just mediocre game. It doesn't look like they put a lot of time and effort into it. It doesn't have the same feel as the 1994 Marathon game, at least in my opinion. I mean, just judging by some of the scenery here, if we compare it, I mean, it's really a night and day difference. I do not think that the new game is going to be a smashing success, especially when you take into consideration that it's akin to Concord, where it's not a free-to-play game, it is a buy-in title. You have to pay $40 to actually access it, and we saw how poorly that went for Sony and Firewalk Studios. But now we have this situation on our hands, which makes me even less excited. It says, we've all had that moment when our eyes are open to the hijinks made possible by prox chat. For me, it was the night some guy in DayZ drove a truck through the town I was looting while screaming at the top of his lungs, the volume gradually rising and falling as he disappeared over the horizon. Ever since that formative belly laugh, it's been a treat to watch the once niche feature make jumps to battle royales and most recently extraction shooters. I wouldn't ever say that voice chat was a niche. Proximity chat is a modern tool for our modern times, but it has a downside. As long as someone's standing close enough, you're at the mercy of whatever they have to say, whether it's friendly or downright awful, until you mute them. Oh no, you actually have to use a feature that the game provides to you. If a game has a mute feature and you want to use it, go for it. But to take away the experience from everybody across the board because somebody doesn't want to use the mute feature is ridiculous. But apparently that recipe for toxicity was potent enough for Bungie to decide that prox chat wouldn't make the cut in its upcoming extraction shooter, Marathon. Now, this is a game that I guess, initially interested in. I wouldn't say that I was ever super hyped for it, but I'm willing to try basically any game, even if I think it is going to be terrible, like Concord. I put a bunch of hours into that game. I gave it a shot for the, 11 or 12 days that it was actually alive, and it was really, really terrible. And I'll give this a shot too, but I just think that everything we're hearing so far does not sound good. When it comes to prox chat, I don't think we're against the experience of it, to be fair, the game director told PC Gamer. Clearly you are against it, or you would allow it to be in your game. I think the challenge is to make sure we're creating a safe environment for players inside of that space. The point of having voice chat is for people to interact with each other and to banter. And sure, there are always going to be people who are going to push the limits and say something that might bother your delicate sensibilities, but you can mute them, you can block them, you can ignore them. That's not in every single lobby, and that's part of the fun for some people. Unfortunately, though, if you are a sensitive snowflake, you ultimately got your way because they're not even going to feature this. I don't think anyone really has a good solution to that just yet because we're so dedicated to making sure that we're creating a safe space where we don't have players just flaming each other or doing terrible things to one another. I think we're not ready to invest in prox chat until we have a solution. There's never going to be a solution, in their opinion, because the solution would be making gamers gamers less toxic. This is complete and utter BS. It is a game made for adults where adults should be able to talk to each other. And yes, part of that is trash talking each other. And that is not a bad thing, at least in my opinion. Now, I always hear the argument that, oh, women are treated poorly on voice chat. That's never really been the case for me. Sure, back in the 360 days, I was called a squeaker because there would be people who thought that I was actually a boy. And now sometimes they even say the same thing. But ultimately, I've never felt like, oh, I had to shut off my voice chat because people were just being so toxic. I think that that's where we stand right now. Like, if it was magical and we could somehow come up with that solution, I think we could totally do it. What they want is to be able to control your speech. And we know that there are so many companies that feel this way nowadays. They want to be able to control how you act on their platform, what you say and do on their platform. And if you do not act properly, they want you removed. And well, this is just one of the many bad pieces of news surrounding this game. Because, like I mentioned, the price is also very controversial. Now, this isn't officially confirmed, but according to several sources, Bungie appears to be targeting a $40 price tag for Marathon, opting for a pay-to-play premium model rather than following the free-to-play model seen in many modern shooters. Now, of course, one of the most recent examples of that happening is actually Concord. Concord did the same exact thing. It came out, it was $40. That didn't sit well with people, and nobody bought into it. But to make it even worse, we're also hearing that apparently it's going to be $40 for 6 characters, 3 maps, and 1 mode at launch. Plus, there are going to be battle passes and microtransactions, which is extremely unacceptable. If we were talking about having, I don't know, 15 characters, having 10 different maps, having 5 or 6 modes, maybe I could say, you know what? Sure, this sounds good. I understand that a lot of games now have battle passes and microtransactions. As long as they do not affect the gameplay and you are basically not paying to win, you're not buying stats or armor with stats, then I can look past microtransactions and battle passes that have like skins and holograms and banners. But this description of what you are getting for $40 sounds fucking nasty. That just does not sound like it is going to be acceptable for the price tag and the fact that they're removing prox chat, or I guess they never planned to put prox chat at all whatsoever. And so far, the initial reactions to this trailer are not looking so hot. As you can see, it's got 576,000 views, number 9 on trending, 16,000 likes to 11,000 dislikes. So while yes, it is technically being positively ratioed still, I don't think that it is going to stay that way. I think a lot of people are, finding out about this game, they're leaving their thoughts and opinions. And I just don't really think that this trailer was very good either. Cool, you've got these fancy visuals. People aren't buying a movie or a cutscene. People are buying a video game. And yeah, a lot of these environments just look really, really bland in my opinion. You can have a more simplistic style to a game while still giving it character. This game doesn't, in my opinion, feel like it has character at all whatsoever. And I mean, a lot of gamers are agreeing. Man, Bungie loves using clips of a character shouting briefly at one target, swapping to a sniper, then nailing them with a headshot. I've played enough Destiny to recognize that Cabal jump animation at 104. Yeah, that actually does look very similar. This was the first time in my life I saw an actual game trailer look like a YouTube ad that I would skip while eating dinner. Would have been cool if bodies stayed bleeding out like the teaser years ago showed, instead of turning into pixels and leaving a duffel bag. Yeah, I think that's before they wanted it to be an extraction shooter because they're just chasing a larger trend now, and I feel like they wanted it to be more kind of bloody and gory. They wanted it to be more like OG Marathon. Oh, 7 of all the Bungie employees losing their job this year. So yeah, so far things are not looking so good for Bungie. Maybe this will come out and it'll be absolutely amazing, but what we're hearing so far does not have me and clearly many other people excited. I think that trailer was a big L. Hearing that it's $40 and apparently it's only going to feature a couple of characters and maps and only a single mode is really worrisome. And we're also hearing that this game won't have prox chat because it would be way too toxic. toxic. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.